Good afternoon, good morning, or indeed good bloody well evening to everybody listening or indeed watching over on YouTube. This is the Switch Island, and this is the Switch Island Guide 2. And I am joined this week by some absolutely fantastic looking chaps over on this new webcam. It's at Benji Kong. Ben, how you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm good. Coming to you in HD, baby. Apologies to anyone watching.
Apologies.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Dan.
Yeah, you're aging a bit there, mate. Over to someone else who's aging, at Smark Tweeter. How you doing, Smark? You okay, mate?
Aging by the minute, mate. Listening to you guys. No, it's all good. Loving it. Thank you.
Have you recovered since spoilers beating us yesterday on Mario and Mario?
The excitement. And I've had a special Mario this evening with Ben as well, with the Talk Nintendo lads. And spoilers. Actually, I won't say what happened. You have to listen to their episode.
Spoiling everything, Mark.
Spoilers. I know. And speaking of spoiling everything, so we've got our other friend on, which is our mate Rich at Dreamcast Barber. How you doing, mate? You okay?
Good. I can go if you want me to. It's fine. I don't mind.
Sounds like you actually want to there. I'm a little bit concerned. We're not holding you against your will. You can leave at any point.
Thanks.
So we're actually discussing something quite important tonight, Ben. I think if you're interested in giving guys a bit of a rundown on what we're doing.
Yes, so following on from our Switch Island Guide to the Messenger, we have broadened our horizons to from a small indie game to an entire company, and we are presenting the Switch Island Guide to Sega, not Sega,
not PlayStation, which is the t-shirt I'm wearing, so I might need to.
And that's why we've brought Rich on board as some outside help. As someone, is he a qualified Sega historian? Is that right?
I've got the certificate. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's a consultancy money's going his way after this.
Got a certificate. I got a third, but yeah, I can talk about it. It's absolutely fine. So I think the format's pretty straightforward. I think we're just going to talk through it and then ask any sort of questions that we want, cross-examine Rich, make him feel under pressure, probably talk some shit. So I think the first point is just, where did our love affair with Sega start? Rich, I'm not going to come to you first, mate. I'm going to go over to Mark just to put him on his toes. But Mark, where was your love affair with Sega? What was the first Sega game you played?
My love affair with Sega started with that game Sega 1, and then I played Sega 2, the Return of the Sega, and then there's like some sort of hedgehog game or like some sort of spiky mole rat, I think. But honestly, it's such a deep love that it's difficult to talk about it.
Mark, are you just hazing me, seriously?
Do you want more
I love how
more insight.
It was your answer there. Like we need an answer to that, mate. What was your first game? Come on, be serious.
No, I'm sorry. I don't honestly know what it would be. I'm afraid. I've done zero prep. All I was going to do was ask Rich questions.
Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I don't know what my first.
Well, I remember playing Sonic. That was my first. Ben, come on, mate.
Yeah, Sonic as well.
Sonic.
Well, Sonic, yeah, that's where it started. I think that's probably the case for most people. I might have vague memories of Alex Kidd on the Master System. I never owned that, but I might have played that on someone else's. But the first Sega game that I owned would have been Sonic the Hedgehog.
Actually, can I have another go? I know what mine is now.
No, you had your chance. I've done a sensible answer.
Yeah.
Come on, Mark.
Golden Axe.
Golden Axe, of course it was. I'm Rich. Come on, mate. What was it?
It was Sonic, unfortunately. So I'm just copying you guys. I don't know. I haven't got a real answer. No, it was Sonic. Yeah. So I had other games as well, but that was the first game I actually ever put in my Mega Drive. So.
Yeah, so my uncle had a Mega Drive. I remember playing a variation of some sort of James Bond game on there. And then, why are you laughing? And remember,
is it that other uncle?
Is it the License to Kill? Must be.
But no, I don't know why Ben's laughing his head off, but I can kind of assume why he is as well. So I think we need to move on quickly. So just remember, it was Alex Kidd, the game where you didn't have to, it was already pre-built into the Mega Drive. Is that right?
That was in the Master System.
The Master System, because I remember playing that on the Master System as well. So I think that was accurate. Okay, so that's interesting. I'd say it's a good starting point. So I'm presuming it was Mega Drive that we all kind of started off with.
Yeah.
Was indeed.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the Master System was rubbish, wasn't it? It was pretty pony compared to the NES. I don't think there was any real competition. To be, to be fair. Rich, call me out if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it was definitely no. I did prefer the NES. I won't lie. So
not doing very well here, Rich.
We've turned him already.
I know, God, it didn't take very long.
Yeah, Sega's shit.
Do we want to? Rich is wearing a Dreamcast T-shirt, by the way. That's so exciting.
Just defending. I like it.
Those people who are just listening to the audio version, but we should probably explain for any US listeners what the alternate names are for these consoles we're talking about.
True.
Yeah. What was the alternate name of the Master System?
That would have been the it was the Sega Mark III. Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Okay.
Master System versus the world. In Japan, it was the Sega Mark III.
Right.
So it wasn't the first of the consoles. The first console Sega released was the SG-1000, and then there was a follow-up to that, bit more of an upgrade, the SG-1000 Mark II. Then the Sega Mark III came out after that, but we knew it as the Master System.
Why do you know the reason for the name changing?
I actually don't know that one. No, I won't lie.
It is interesting that the console. I mean, I know with the Famicom and the NES, that's Japan and then the West, and I guess in America it was the Famicom as well, wasn't it? Yeah. So it's weird that they do that.
Yeah.
I think it's more because internationally there wasn't really any presence of the SG models, so to have them come out would have been a bit confusing, especially with their Mark II, Mark III. So they just gave it a brand new name. Because I think the SG-1000 only really got released in like Japan and like Taiwan, I believe.
Okay. I mean, but growing up, I remember like there wasn't such a presence, especially at the Mega Drive level. At that stage, there wasn't such a SNES presence among my friends. Everyone had Mega Drives. I don't know how that was for you guys.
Yeah, well, they
it was huge.
Sega just nailed the marketing for the Mega Drive, basically, didn't they?
For the UK, definitely.
Yeah, well, for the UK and the US to a large extent as well. Like,
okay.
I think more so over here. I think we had, 90% of my friends would have had a Mega Drive over a Super Nintendo. But I think my understanding of it was fairly even in the US during that era. I don't know.
Remember, at least early on, the distribution of like the NES in America was a bit weird. It was kind of like almost state by state. It was hard to get a hold of. Some markets, some states, it wasn't as available as it was in others. And Sega basically attacked that. They went and branded it and rolled it out and made it easier to get a hold of. They marketed it with the whole Genesis does what Nintendo don't slogan. They just went for the throat, basically.
Yeah,
and we didn't actually say it was called the Genesis.
Yeah. That's such a rubbish name compared to Mega Drive.
It's Genesis.
It makes me think of Phil Collins, and that's the worst thing. So.
And Mega Drive is such an American-sounding name as well. It's just bizarre that they'd go with something biblical rather than, something cool. It's strange.
Yeah, and it not being the first console, like. The Genesis suggested it's the beginning.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Fun fact about the Mega Drives, though, because in Korea, where there was a ban on Japanese goods, imported Japanese goods, Samsung actually licensed it and produced it for the market.
Right.
And they actually released it as the Super Game Boy.
Did they really?
True story.
That's even better. Like, I know they were going for the jugular in America, but they didn't even do that. They just pissed on the grave as well when they went over to. I like it.
It was later renamed as the Super Aladdin Boy, which is weird though.
Super Aladdin Boy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's a bit strange.
I don't know why. It's just that happened. So.
I know, very strange, very strange. So really then, I think we've spoke about the first game that we played, but when did it really get going for us in Sega? What was the game that captured your imaginations? I think that's a good place for yourself, Rich, because I know you're the resident expert on this, but when did it cement your love affair with Sega?
think from the beginning, really, with Sonic the Hedgehog, because it was such a big moment for me. It was the first console I owned. I mean, it was the first game I really played. Prior to that, it was playing on my sister's Commodore Plus 4. That was the only real gaming experience I had. And I think from the very beginning, I'd had it got it on the Christmas of '91, playing Sonic, playing Mega Games Collection. Columns was a big one for me. And Super Hang-On, definitely. So I think it was pretty much from the off, really. But Sonic, 'cause I've always been a Sonic fan, so I think that made that first impression.
Yeah, I think for me, if I remember rightly, what was the fighter that was on the Dreamcast?
Virtua Fighter?
Was it Virtua
Soul
Fighter?
Calibur?
Maybe
On
Soul
Dreamcast,
Calibur.
I'm still in the Mega Drive. Sorry, yeah.
No,
He doesn't know anything. Why did you get?
Oh, mate, you're an embarrassment.
My brain was so Mega
Yes,
Drive.
Soul Calibur. A
Soul
friend
Calibur
had
was
Soul Calibur.
amazing.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on there, and it was just so much different. I'd wanted the Dreamcast for like a couple of months just before in the run up to Christmas, and it was just so expensive. Was it 500 quid? Am I remembering that right?
Saturn was the Dreamcast was 199 at launch.
Okay,
Saturn
maybe not
was
then.
like 450. It was
Yeah, the Saturn was
terrible.
Jesus Christ! No, it was definitely Dreamcast I wanted, but I think I just got an N64. And I think, unbeknownst to what my parents picked me up a PlayStation for Christmas, and they're like, "You little fucker, you're not getting anything else, sunshine. You got enough."
Yeah, I used to have that conversation every every months. Like, I want to trade this one in now. You just got it. I know, but this one's out, and it's just take it down to Electronics Boutique and trade it in, please.
I didn't even know about trading at that point. I was still at the kind of pinnacle of gaming, which was you had a game for a year, and you were lucky if your nan went down to the charity shop and picked you up a couple in the sale for 50p, or you'd trade one with a friend and you'd have that for a couple of weeks or a couple of months or whatever it would be. But yeah, so Soul Calibur absolutely, I think, blew me away when I saw it on the Dreamcast, and that's when it was like, yeah, Sega's the one. How about yourself, Ben?
Yeah, I think that era as well. Definitely it would be something from the Dreamcast era. I had the Mega Drive and the Saturn. I sold my Super Nintendo to get a Saturn, which is the greatest mistake of my life, and it's almost bringing me to tears talking about it. But yeah, and the Saturn was cool, but the Dreamcast. I mean, I've got a few games here. Off the top of my head, though, Shenmue was probably the one that made me go, "Wow, this is different. This is like they're pushing the limit of what I would expect a game to be." It's the first time a game kind of did that. It felt open. It's not an open world game whatsoever, but at that time it felt like, oh, what? So I have to go and get a job and go and collect weird things. It's just, yeah, that was a magical game to play through. Yeah,
strange. Come on, Mark, give us a sensible answer.
Mate, I've got very little to say. I didn't play any of these games, I'm afraid, so I've got nothing. The only what was the fighting game you just mentioned? Not Virtual Fighter, the other one. Soul Calibur. I played Soul Calibur 3 on the GameCube. That's as close as I've got.
that Namco game, yeah, right. Thanks.
Right. Sorry about that, guys. I was such a Nintendo fanboy that I wouldn't have gone near any of the other consoles with a barge pole, I'm afraid. I didn't. I reluctantly bought a PS2 just because I wanted to play Ico, and then I basically got a couple of other games as a consequence of that. But that's it. I'm sorry, I've got nothing to say. But I want to hear from
fucking
Rich.
Useless.
Yeah, I am useless for this. I wasn't expecting to be put on the spot about it, but I wanted to get Rich's take on what games should I play. I'm completely willing to just say I no longer have that feeling. That was in my youth. I want to appreciate all the companies for what they are, and I don't have that antipathy towards them. So what games should I get and play on the Switch? Which games have held up from the back history, and then what games are they still releasing that I should play?
So it's kind of like a two-part question then. What exists on the Switch at the moment that Mark should play from the Sega back catalogue, and then what would you like, I guess, ported over to the Switch?
Well, I know Mark loves RPGs as much as I do, but Fantasy Stars on Sega Ages, and people do rave about that. So I've not played it, I won't lie, because I don't do RPGs, but
that's definitely a peak game. I remember him playing Phantasy Star religiously.
Yeah, he loves that. Yeah,
Outrun's fantastic though. I mean, that's also Rages on sale at the moment. I got it for like £4.
And if you like Horizon Chase Turbo, Mark,
that's true, and that's one of its biggest influences, I think. Exactly. Outrun. So yeah, that's exciting. Yeah.
Or, Football Manager 2019.
Oh god,
that's technically a Sega game.
Okay.
There's actually, I mean, it's not a lot of titles under the Sega Ages banner at the moment. I mean, obviously they've got Sonic the Hedgehog as well, but you get that under the Mega Drive collection. So,
I've heard that the Ages games that are on the Mega Drive collection, they run a bit better in the Ages versions. Have you found that?
They are a better emulation. Yeah, it's a company called I think it's M2 that do the ports, do the emulation, and they add extra bells and whistles, so new music. Stuff like that, really. So they are better. People always rave about Sega Ages, but I don't have an issue with the ports that are on Mega Drive Classics either.
So is that the same M2 that worked on Sega games in the past? Like, I don't know. Did they do Virtua Tennis? I've definitely heard the game, the name M2 before.
There was a studio. There was AM2 that did a lot of Sega stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I know. It's easy mistake to make. Sometimes I forget.
That's confusing.
So, I know.
So, would you recommend the Mega Drive collection then? On, out of all the games, rather than individually picking out the.
Yeah, definitely. Because games. Still, I mean, it says Sega Ages is only about 3 or 4 titles at the moment. That's about it total.
Are there more planned? Do you know?
Not that I've heard at the moment. I mean, they initially, when they announced they were bringing Ages collection to the Switch, they were talking about Saturn games and Dreamcast games. Yeah. That's as much as I know about what's in the future, and that's what I'm looking forward to more than anything. I mean, I've kind of got my fill with Mega Drive stuff. I think the Classic Collection actually covers it. There's like 53 games in there. You don't really need much more.
And what are your favourites from that collection?
I mean, definitely one game I've really kind of discovered all over again is Gunstar Heroes.
Okay,
that is a blast. It's just a great like a run and gun game.
What I want from you, maybe after this, is just like the top 5 games that you think from that I will enjoy playing from that, and I will pick it up, and I'm just going to dive into it and get some experience of some Sega titles from the history, just so I don't feel such a Philistine about it.
Definitely.
So what's the consensus of when did I actually go wrong for Sega as a hardware producer?
Really, as the NES started to outsell the Mega Drive, and they decided that to prolong the Mega Drive's life, they had to start releasing 1,000,001 things to basically bolt onto Mega Drive to basically elongate its life. They did the 32X, the Mega CD. It just created a lot of consumer confusion. It was just, there was so many different things they were releasing for Mega Drive that people didn't know whether they were hardware or not. They didn't know if they needed to have the Mega Drive to run it, if they were separate. It's basically the Wii U, basically.
Yeah.
People thought it was an add-on. They didn't realize it was a new console. In this case, it was obviously vice versa. They were still releasing stuff, and Mega Drive was on the shelves when the Saturn was out as well. So it was just saturation. People didn't know what to buy, what worked with what, and it just became confusing. They just flooded the market with add-ons and games, and
Didn't they bring forward the release of the Saturn as well because they were afraid of the PlayStation?
Yeah, because they announced at E3 and they basically announced, "Oh, it's out now."
Yeah,
it just announced on stage. It was
mental.
Yeah, it's a little bit silly.
And the retailers were pissed because they had no plans for inventory. They didn't know when shipments were coming, and that kind of was a death knell for Sega as well. They lost faith in retailers.
Well, because all that goodwill that they'd built up during the Mega Drive era.
Yeah.
Because obviously Nintendo being Nintendo, they'd put retailers' noses out of joint left, right, and centre. But Sega were like, no, how much stock do you need? We'll get it to you, fine. And appeasing all the brick and mortar shops and everything. But then to just drop that on retailers, I think was it like Walmart or someone like that refused to stock it on principle, or some huge retailer was just like, no, we're not even going to have that. Not to mention that it was overpriced in the first place, and basically the same tech from the 32X.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't know about the 32X part, but yeah, you're right about Walmart. I'm absolutely positive.
Yeah, but it was a good console. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I never owned the Saturn. I had a friend that had one who was obsessed with it. I won't lie, I waited for the PlayStation to kill me.
That's fine, sensible.
So, yeah.
No, I had some good. I remember playing Sega Rally on the Saturn. Just being able to play an arcade game at home was again pretty amazing at the time. And their arcade games their arcade ports have been superb.
Well, still are, aren't they? So
yes.
I don't want to fast forward too much, but Sega Sammy, is it now?
Yeah, Sammy
it's Pachenko,
Sammy Group. Yeah, they basically built Sega back in like the mid 2000s, I believe.
Yeah,
Sammy Enterprises. That's it.
Yeah. So Sega Sammy and then Atlas falls underneath that brand group, and it's pretty big, man. It's still like the 5th or 6th biggest gaming company in the world. So
it's huge. I mean, in Japan, Sega are, they've got a presence. They have Sega Worlds, kind of like Namco has here. And there's just arcades, massive arcades. I went to one in Sapporo, and it was just you walk in, and it's like Sega are the biggest company in the world.
Yeah,
because it's just cabinet after cabinet of brilliant Sega games. And then you get home here, and it's like, oh, do they even exist anymore?
Strange as well.
And that's just arcades in general. I mean, they're just dead.
Yeah, they are in the UK, especially.
It's tragic.
I mean, super sad. And then the weirdest segue ever, but like after watching Wreck-It Ralph and like Wreck-It Ralph 2, and you'll see like still a fondness for him, but you'll still see quite a lot of. I hate using the term hipster, but popular joints in America, like San Francisco, and there's like huge, great malls with like 50 or 60 different machines in there, and they're all up-to-date games, and it looks super fun. But the closest experience we've got, it's like a shitty little bowling alley, maybe with a Virtua Fighter and
or the old Simpsons arcade game.
Yeah,
it's in every arcade or chip shop or whatever. It's just
it was absolutely awful, but also brilliant at the same point. Yeah. So we've kind of spoke about the Saturn and the demise there, and a little bit of, let's say, confusion that happened with Sega. So it moves us on to the Dreamcast. So just remind me, like, what was the build-up? What was the hook with the Dreamcast? Why was it so different for people? Because I just remember wanting one.
I think from the off they pushed the fact that it had connectivity, online browsing, surfing, gaming. It was still around that time the internet, in terms of just households, was still quite niche, and it was quite exciting. And that was a big hook for them. The fact that they were pushing the fact they had arcade perfect ports. They were using the Naomi board from their arcade machines. So you're looking at perfect ports of House of the Dead and Daytona and Crazy Taxi. So yeah,
it was powerful. They were they were the first company to really push that. I mean, they did it with the Mega Drive as well, with the blast processing as part of their marketing spiel. But the Dreamcast was actually, I think, the most powerful console at the time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are still games that like genuinely hold up now graphically. Like, yeah.
Crazy Taxi does to me. I think it captures like the aesthetic of the 90s so well.
Yeah.
And just the music to it's absolutely awesome.
I adore that game.
Oh man, even before Tony Hawk's came, and I know we're probably going to touch on that at some point, but the likes of Tony Hawk's came out, it was such a good precursor to those games because it had the attitude to it. Yeah, there we go.
Just holding up Crazy Taxi there, just for the YouTube viewers.
Have you got Jet Set Radio? Because I always wanted to get that.
I actually bid for that on eBay last night and lost it. So
how much did it go for?
Sorry, I had to bring it up, Mark.
It was going for about £7, which was crazy. It was perfect condition as well. It wasn't even like some little plastic sleeve. It was an actual case. And the case was actually one piece as well, which is more than could be said for most Dreamcast cases. They're pretty crap.
Flimsiest plastic you could imagine.
Just give us a dual case like America has. It's perfect.
It would be really nice to see this game get a. I think Jet Set Radio would fit really nicely on Switch.
Yeah.
There's something about the vibe that felt like a bit Splatoony.
It was like one of the first games that did cell shading, and I just love the idea of cell shading on the Switch screen. Like playing Akami recently, it just really pops. It looks beautiful.
I played the Jet Set Radio 2 recently.
Oh yeah.
It's called Spider-Man. Yeah, it's pretty much the same game, but just in 4K.
I walked into that one.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, of course you did. Yeah, oh, wow. I like that. No, to be fair, it is Insomniac, isn't it? It's the same developer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because they did not Ratchet and Clank, the other one.
No. Jet Set Radio was developed by Smilebit.
That's the one.
It's amazing how you just
you are
put that.
saying we're experts.
Talking there, because I'm going to prove a point here, because I'm sure the people that did Jet Set Radio also did Spider-Man. Jet Set Radio.
This is all just in my head. It's in my head.
It's amazing. It's like watching Rain Man. Just in so many ways.
Yeah, in all the ways.
There's people actually genuinely shouting at me now. Oh no, it's Sunset Overdrive, and that was Insomniac. Balls. There we go.
Yeah.
Sunset Overdrive there.
I always forget about Smilebit. I think the one Sega division I always remember is Hitmaker, because I used to have it as a password for IT at school.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You don't still use that, though, do you?
Maybe I do. Yeah, for my banking and. Yeah.
What's your mother's maiden name again?
Last 3 digits on the back of your card.
Yeah.
So okay, so Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. I just googled the top 10 Sega games. I remember. Yeah, that's a very good point. Actually, watched that yesterday. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. That was such a good game. Mainly the music in it was banging, but just the arcade side of it.
It's a game where you rescue tied up children. That's terrible. Not dating very well, okay?
Isn't Michael Jackson the reason why Sonic 3 isn't on the Mega Drive collection?
That's a bit of an urban legend, because he was working on that game, and then obviously all the controversy came out. Sega kind of distanced themselves. But I think before that even really happened, they'd already kind of gone their separate ways. So it's still a bit of a grey area. Is
it kind of a licensing issue or something like that, though? Because otherwise, why wouldn't it be on that collection?
Yeah, so I know he worked on it. I don't think it's licensing, because I mean, you listen to some of the music now. There's a strong Michael Jackson vibe from some of the songs in Sonic 3.
If you play them backwards, it's just like, come here, I've got Dairy Lee.
Jesus juice.
Do you want some Smarties? Sorry.
Sonic 3 was my favourite Sonic game until now, so thanks for that.
Oh, God.
Forgot what I was saying now.
Yeah, Dreamcast games.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah. What Dreamcast games would you like to see ported over to Switch?
Oh, well, there was actually Space Channel 5, but that had Michael Jackson in it as well, so
Oh, God. This poor console.
Never stood a chance.
No.
And it goes on the internet as well, so it just gets worse.
Nutella in the top fridge.
You've been rehearsing this, seriously.
But yeah, what other than any Michael Jackson affiliated games, what would you like to see ported to Switch?
Do you want to bathe with me?
Oh, Jesus.
Let's try and stay away from any. There's no Gary Glitter games or anything like that on the Sega. So
there actually is a Jet Set Radio 2, I've just found out.
So you were saying Gary Clayton then.
I love how Mark's just mind blown with any of these.
Well, I didn't know. It's on Xbox.
Just
Jet Set Radio Future.
Yes, of course there is. Yes, Future.
Smilebit as well, mate.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Wasn't Insomniac. I think I tried to make a mistake with. Good thing. So yeah, come on. What Dreamcast games are we porting over? What's coming over first, other than Jet Set?
I think one definitely. And this is down to Capcom getting off their asses. Power Stone, definitely.
Yes.
Yes.
1 and 2.
Yeah, 2 is better, really. So just do both of them. Do a collection. Why not?
Tell me about Power Stone. I've never heard of it.
Basically, it's you could say it's almost like Dreamcast's nearest thing to Smash, really, like a 3D arena fighting game. Okay. But not only do you have like special attacks, but you can use objects as well. So you can throw tables and chairs and bombs.
It's kind of on a isometric view.
Yeah,
which is
basically
strange to imagine, but to play it,
yeah,
very, very good.
In each battle, you actually different color power stones appear in the stage, and if you or your opponent collects, I think it's 3 of them, you become like supercharged. You have like super attack. So yeah, it's very much like Smash in a way.
It would fit really well on Switch, actually. Like of all the games, that would be
doing 4-player with Joy-Cons would be great on the whole screen.
Yeah,
cool.
Good shout. What
so
else?
my shout will be Crazy Taxi, just as a part on there, because I would love to play that game again. What was the Simpsons one? Hit and Run.
Yeah.
But that was banging as well. That was such a good game.
What else we
taking?
Can I put a vote in for Choo Choo Rocket?
I was literally about to say Choo Choo Rocket.
Yeah, I was going to say that
would be
with,
so perfect.
With the Jet Set Radio and Power Stone, they do look perfect for Switch.
Yeah.
Choo Choo Rocket. I really wanted this.
It's such, you can play it with touch controls portably. You could have 4 Joy-Cons, have 4 people playing it. It would just be perfect. I know they've put it on mobile and stuff like that.
It was on GBA as well. Yeah.
Yep.
It is. It's basically you're guiding. You're placing arrows onto certain tiles to try and guide mice into a rocket, so they can escape. From these cats. And there's cats walking around trying to eat them.
Yeah, it's a bit like Pac-Man-y sort of, but with multiplayer elements.
Oh yeah, I've seen that artwork.
Yeah,
and it's like a bit hallucinogenic sort of.
It's simple, and there's like a puzzle mode in it. It's it again perfect for Switch. It's a cliche, but it would be perfect.
It gets pretty frantic in multiplayer as well. You've got someone else dropping arrows as well, and then everyone's mice are just going in all different directions. The cats are going in different directions, and it's just it gets a bit crazy.
Do these games hold up well graphically as well?
Choo Choo was very simple. I mean, funny enough, the one thing I remember most about that game is that it was free on the Dreamcast because if you was registered to Dream Arena, like the online service, you actually filled out. I forget if you filled out a little registration card or if it was because you was actually already online and registered. Sega actually shipped a copy to your house for free.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because it was the first online game, so they tried to roll it out to really get people on board using the online service. And it was a very lag-friendly game as well. It was very simple. So.
Are we talking broadband here, or was it still 56k?
Well, it was a 56k, but the modem on the Dreamcast was a 33.6k.
Right.
Nice.
I don't think we actually ever got the broadband adapter. There was actually, because the modem was detachable, so you could actually buy a different broadband adapter and basically replace the modem. But I don't think it came over here. I'm pretty sure it went as far as the US. Never actually saw the UK.
See, I'm still quite interested by it, just because I remember fucking about with Pokemon Yellow, I think, on a floppy disk. and just remember having to play that from a floppy disk and being like, this is amazing, this is graphically incredible. But then also seeing the Dreamcast come out, but just the franticness of having to unplug and plug the 56k modem every single time, and then it just, what I presumed would swear at me. Being bit like Mark at the moment. Okay, so we've got our Dreamcast games that we're taking with us. What kind of happened next with Sega? Because I think this is where I kind of stopped.
Well, I was just going to, sorry, Dan, but before we move on, I was just going to go, because we had a few game selections from some other islanders and the community at large.
Oh.
So our very own Sticky Steve,
Never heard of him.
says Donald Duck Quackshot. And you back him up on that one, right, Rich?
Definitely. I mean, I think, like I said in one of the comments, I think any Disney game is welcome. I mean, I know it's more. I think it was better on the Super Nintendo, but like Aladdin
was
amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, Aladdin was amazing. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Castle of Illusion, all that stuff.
Do you know what? So N64 Josh says General Chaos. I've never heard of that. Do you know that?
General Chaos.
I was unsure if he was just describing this podcast or giving us a name.
Potentially the former.
Both work.
Yeah.
Both work.
Both.
Do you know,
General
right?
Chaos.
I just want to back a little bit here while we're all thinking about General Chaos. I've just discovered there is a game that's on the Switch that's like Choo Choo Rocket.
Really?
It's like it looks exactly the same, except with obviously HDified. It's with cats and mice. It's the same game basically, and it's called.
Is it a Metrovania?
It's not. It's not.
It's going to be.
I really wish it was.
It's called Darkest Dungeon.
There is actually a cat-based Metrovania, but I've forgotten what it's called. I'll get back to you on that. This is called Blobcat.
Blobcat.
It came out in August 2018.
That rings a bell.
Yeah, and it strongly modelled itself after Choo Choo Rocket. Check it out.
I'll have a look at that.
Strongly modelled itself.
Sega's lawyers on that one. So.
Also, last comment here from the Islanders is Dan's mate Bobby, the Nintendo guru.
For God's sake, Bob.
When asked what Sega game he would like ported across, he said, "None. Only people who love Sega are people with bad taste and Brits."
Oh Jesus, that's nice, isn't it?
That's nice, isn't it?
He's a wonderful bloke, him.
Yeah, just brings it down though, doesn't he?
He does bring it down.
He brings
slightly.
the rest of us down.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of truth to it, though.
Oh yes, he's completely accurate. I agree with everything he said.
That's 4 Brits discussing Sega. I just tell him to go and buy another Philips Hue. Go and buy another Philips Hue, Bobby. Fill your boots, mate. Drown out your room with light. If that's what you need to do to keep yourself happy, is rip into Britain, the strongest nation in the world, and then on top of that, fill your room with light that you operate from your phone. You miserable.
Sorry, what criteria is it for the strongest country? The strongest at what?
Strongest nation in the world.
Yeah.
Haven't you heard?
We've got about 2 weeks left, I think. So.
Yeah. 2 weeks.
Enjoy while it lasts.
Yeah. I know, I'll come at you, Bobby. I told you this, mate. I'll come at you. Fucking about with me. Dick.
Oh dear.
Sorry, guys. Anyway, where were we?
Thanks to all the community for your valuable input.
Yeah, fuck.
We appreciate you listening and tuning in.
Oh God!
One of these days, I'm going to appear on this front door. I'm just going to knock and just shit everywhere, and then the dickhead loves it, doesn't he? Loves the controversy. Always got me right riled up.
We've lost Dan.
We have.
Yeah. I love it. He's got so angry. We brought Rich on as the special Sega guest, and Dan's like taking it personally.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Imagine if he tried that with like Persona or something.
He could take Persona. He could do what he wants.
Oh, okay.
I don't care about his opinion. He could throw it around anything. He could say about my bloody house. He could talk about my missus. He could talk about anything he wants. I don't care about what he says. Do you hear that, Bobby?
Just don't touch Rich.
Anytime, any place. I'll have you. Anytime, mate. Buy Philips Hue.
Rich, Virtua Tennis.
Oh, why did I not say Virtua Tennis? No, thank you for saying that. I actually forgot to say that. Yeah,
so good.
Definitely Virtua Tennis.
That we need on the Switch to show Mario Aces what a good tennis game.
That was shit. I'm sorry.
I'm so disappointed with the Mario Aces.
Once you've played Virtua Tennis, any other tennis game seems crap. It's still the best tennis game.
It's honestly, it's an example of like gaming perfection. The simplicity of it, how perfectly it plays, the multiplayer. It's perfect. It is Pong with prettier graphics. It's so just perfect.
Yeah. What's the other one that springs to mind? Sonic Adventure.
Sonic one.
No, I was thinking Resident Evil Code Veronica. Did you ever play that?
Yeah, I actually only had the demo of that when it came out, but that was quite exciting at the time. It was our Resident Evil. No one else had it.
Exactly.
Later, when it went to shit. So.
Well, I wonder, with them bringing all the other Resident Evils over, I wonder if we'll get a sniff of that, maybe.
Like 50 quid.
£65.
Yeah, 50 quid, exactly. There was a Sega, another sort of horror, what was it, like House of the Dead or something?
Yeah,
the light gun game.
Yep, that was it.
Yeah.
It won't work nowadays, unfortunately. We get Typing of the Dead, though. Should do that.
That's
Typing of the Dead.
Yeah.
I haven't played that.
Okay.
Just use the touch screen. It'd be perfect.
What about just button matching of the Dead? You can't do it with a remote or something.
Waggle of the Dead.
Yeah, that is Waggle of the Dead.
Zing.
Nice.
So what have we actually got on the Switch at the moment? If you've got to scratch that Sega itch, what are we playing? What's there? What's available?
Outside, just mean in terms of current games, modern games, or in terms of the classics?
Yeah, anything. Let's just say wake up one morning, go down, have a pancake, bit of honey, bit of lemon, bit of sugar, sprinkled on top. Not too much. Trying to lose weight. Fold it up, eat it. Cup of coffee. Sit down. 5 minutes. Mid-morning matters. Yeah, go in.
Mid-morning
on the Switch. Yeah, I'm on the Switch. What? Want to buy something? You know what's jumping out at me?
Drive to Bobby's house.
Yeah, drive to Bobby's house.
Do shit on his lawn.
Yeah, shit on his lawn. Blame his cat.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Smash his windows.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
okay.
Just leave his fridge open. That's all I'd do.
Get arrested.
Fly over to America. Leave his fridge slightly open.
Steal his light
Fly
bulbs.
back. Done. But like Bobby, I came for you, mate. You didn't even know. I am the knight. Carry on, Rich.
Are you done?
Yes.
God.
I think Sonic Mania is the standout really on the Switch at the moment. Not Sonic Forces. Fuck that game. It's one of those games. It's a game made for people that like Sonic on DeviantArt. It's the creepy Sonic. Cause I'm going to make my own avatar. It's my own animal name, made after me. It's weird.
What's that?
Sonic Forces. You can create your own like character. So the people in DeviantArt that make like Sonic with abs and shit like that. It's a weird fantasy.
I feel so sheltered.
Yeah,
honest to God, try being a Persona fan at Comic-Con. It's the most awkward thing in the world. You're trying to buy some legit Persona stuff, and it's like, oh, no, I don't want to buy that. I'll probably get divorced if I bought that. I can't buy that. That's terrible. Speaking of DeviantArt, and just to kind of segue this before you carry on about Sonic, what do you think of the film? Like don't do it.
That could have been so perfect, that film. Like, you saw what they did with Detective Pikachu, and it's like you just had to do that. Just had to lift him off the source material, chuck him in a film with some no-name actor. Great, but I'm more interested to see Jim Carrey as Robotnik, to be fair.
Okay, yeah, that would have been quite good. I think it'd just be absolutely hilarious if Ryan Reynolds just voiced everything from now on.
Yeah,
just everyone and everything. even in live action films, he still voices.
He just overdubs everyone else.
Yeah, but just with his typical Ryan Reynolds attitude.
You can just voice like every Pokemon as well in the whole film. It's like they all just talk his voice.
Play Sonic.
Yeah. Sonic. So do we know? You don't know who's voicing him? It's unknown, is it?
It's the guy from what's his name? Jean-Ralphio from Parks and Rec.
Oh
yes,
that guy, Ben Schwartz.
Yeah,
he's good. He's funny.
Yeah, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's
I love
a good
Parks
choice.
and Rec, so perfect.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Decent. Love that. So yeah, Sonic Mania. I bought Sonic Mania. I enjoyed Sonic Mania. I did not enjoy the 2-player element of Sonic Mania. Because it's just pointless. I remember rightly, just where Tails just flies off on one side of the screen and disappears.
I never understood that. What Tails?
You don't think you can?
No, he just seems annoying, just hanging about.
It sounds like. Well, I think it's the best version of the game where you could give your child a controller and let them play.
Yeah,
because Tails just does nothing.
Good shout, that.
Yeah, you can have that one for free.
Nice. I'll try that.
Yeah. So, Sonic Mania. Anything else, Rich?
At the moment, no. In terms of Sega output, I mean, I'm trying to think. Were there any RPGs they've done at the moment?
Yeah, they've got.
What about?
I ignore those. I'm sorry.
And no, but I want to mention Puyo Puyo Tetris as well.
Of course.
Yeah, that's cool because I played the demo of that and played it multiplayer online a few times. It's pretty good fun, but it's like a weird game because you kind of got an RPG sort of story element going on in a puzzle game, but you've also got these two worlds of Tetris and Puyo Puyo just smashed together in a really bizarre way. So you can play it where, if say one of you's really into Puyo Puyo and the other one's really good at Tetris, you can just play it against each other, where one of you's just playing one game, one of you's just playing the other, and then once you get like a Tetris, it just drops Tetris blocks into the Puyo Puyo level and things like that. So it's an interesting one. I think it's really good fun actually. And
it's a tough sell now though that Tetris 99 is out and free.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very different to that in that's just a one-trick pony, and I guess that is free. And Puyo Puyo, whoa,
easy,
don't
come on, mate.
Slag off Tetris 99.
I'm not. No. I love that. I love all Tetris. It's great.
How dare you? How dare you
I
slag
even
off
love
the master of
Tetris.
hiding in the bushes? Benji Kong.
Only on Tetris 99.
Only on Tetris. Yeah. Disclaimer.
Not outside Bobby's house.
Yeah.
No one's doing that.
No one is, Bobby. Don't
That's why
worry.
the bushes are filled. That's why the bushes have
want you
got
to
loads
think.
of shit in them. That's why.
That's true.
They're not even bushes anymore.
Shit, they've all withered.
Or really flourished.
Should they grow? Yeah, they lost fertilizer. That's perfect.
Yeah, yeah, no. Not
but
what
yeah,
I eat, mate.
Mark, you
I
mentioned Valkyria Chronicles, Mark. Have you played that or not?
I haven't, but spoilers for the latest Switch Island podcast. We may have to be playing it.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying.
It's always weird when you refer to something that hasn't come out yet, because this might come out well after that comes out.
That's the point. It probably
Spoilers.
will actually. Yeah, it's
Spoilers.
going to,
Remember
isn't
from
it? So
3
I
weeks
can
ago.
say, yeah, I will say Pete picked Valkyria Chronicles as his Switch pitch.
What do you pick?
It's 50% off at the moment. That's got to be tempting. It's only $7.99.
Well, that's how he
That's why I
was able to pick it because
Yeah.
they've got to be below. Oh, is it half price?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
What did you pick, Mark?
What did I pick? I picked Axiom Verge.
And I picked Firewatch.
Three very different titles. Three extremely different.
I mean, yours is quite predictable, though, Mark.
Well, I was trying. I actually, I sat there and thought, right, I'm not going to pick a Metrovania because everyone's going to bloody go on about it. But then I thought, no, I'm going to go the most Metroidvania ever, and just go straight to the bullseye with Axiom Verge,
Get it
and
out
make these suckers play it. Hopefully,
Yeah. Well, bringing it back to Sega perspective, I hope it's Valkyria Chronicles, because I'm interested in that game, actually.
okay.
It's a game I'm quite interested to buy as well. And I know Pete picked up the new one at the weekend as well.
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
4?
Yeah, he picked up. Yeah, picked up 4. So I think he's probably got his head into that over the weekend at some point. He's probably playing it, but yeah. So
it's like a turn-based. It's like what is that? Like a strategy combat, but with RPG overlay, like with characters and stuff. A bit Fire Emblem-y, but in like more of a war setting. Is that right? Does anyone know?
You're asking.
we clearly didn't listen to his pitch.
We didn't listen to his pitch. It was quite short.
Neither of us were. So, yeah. It was a very short pitch, wasn't it? I know.
Yeah.
It was,
Well, because all the effort he put into the last one, you bastards just didn't give him a chance, did you?
Yeah, the two people that voted for him, wasn't it you, Ben? And then my missus voted for him.
It was Age of Boredom, Stevie.
Oh yeah, it was Age of Boredom.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two people. I know.
Harsh.
I know. Terrible. So bringing it back to Sega, didn't we have a collection recently released?
Well, Mega Drive Classics.
There we go. There you go. And did we review this? Yeah. So
and also we've been talking about it on this show so far, talking about not listening to people. Carry on, mate.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Rich did review it. It was a great review.
I love how you just interrupted him.
No,
He was just about to talk about it anyway.
Tell me how
Rich
good
just
it was.
reviewed it very
my
fast.
favourite review on our site, I think.
thank you.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's so much better than all of your reviews, Dan.
Wait,
All right, carry on.
My 2-paragraph review of Mario Tennis Ace is not good enough for you.
I had pictures as well.
Man, Harry, come on, Rich, come and talk about it, mate. How did you review it? Was it good?
Yeah, I think I gave it. Did I give it an 8 out of 10? I believe. I'm just scrolling through it now. Actually, just going to remind myself why I scored it. I gave it an 8 actually. So yeah. So it was a collection of the top 53 games in Mega Drive history. Were some things missing, personally, like Sonic 3. We won't talk about that anymore. Weirdly, I don't know why it didn't have Echo the Dolphin in it. That still bothers me to this day.
It's a strange decision because Echo was such a huge title for so long as well.
I think I put it down. I don't know if they made a conscious decision that it's been included in other collections so many other times. They just tried to kind of rotate certain ones out and put other titles in.
Strange one, that.
Very strange.
Is World Cup Italy 90 on there? Because that is a banger.
I haven't played that since. I haven't played that since the Mega Games collection days back when I had the Mega Drive originally. I love that game. I can still hear the sound of the ball. Boom, boom.
It just sounds like flat.
Kicking
The
out
flattest football. Yeah.
A head.
That whistle as well. Just
Brilliant.
Cool.
I'm looking at
cool.
collection now. What have we got here? Let's have a look. Looking at the virtual shelf.
Also, that came out while you're looking at that. Didn't Wonder Boy and then obviously the new Monster Boy, didn't they come out on Sega originally, or the first one did?
Yeah, that was Master System games, weren't they? I think.
Yeah, I think Wonder Boy was.
Yeah.
Was there a bit of a series of them on Master System? Do we know?
Believe so. Yeah, I think
Okay.
I can picture the box with the horrible grid graph paper that they had on every game.
I love those cases.
It's just
But you do
lazy.
love graph paper, Rich.
That's true.
I do love a graph.
Oh.
You had me at gr.
Do we know anything about Shining Residence Refrain? Anyone played that one? Apparently
No.
that's a Sega
I've
game.
heard very middling reviews about that on Radio Free Nintendo. The guy said it was basically kind of he plays all those big like JRPGs, and he said this one was just really bland.
Right. Was that James?
It was, in fact, James. Yes,
Okay.
James
They said it
Jones.
like that. I don't know. It's in constant question mode, aren't you, Mark? Can't help it.
Yeah.
It was, in fact, James.
Well, I'm worried about.
You're getting so quick at Googling things now, Mark. It's amazing.
Yeah,
almost do-
it was.
You could host
Doing
the
it in real
next
time.
Sega special.
How to
Excellent.
host a podcast. Cool. Okay, so we've kind of got to where we're up to now with Sega. So obviously, I'm a huge Persona fan. I've not mentioned it before. It's probably going to come at some point to Switch, as is quite a few other Atlas games, because they seem super keen on bringing things over. Is there any other subsidiary companies of Sega that have got any content on Switch at the moment, other than the ones that we've mentioned?
Well, don't they own Bayonetta? Isn't it their kind of-
Yes, it's theirs, pretty sure.
I think it is.
This is where they're getting all their dollar bill y'all from as well. When you're thinking it's, they've got Bayonetta on there, Sonic Mania. I mean, that was in the top 5 for months.
Yeah.
Rightly on download exclusives. It was huge. But is there anything imminently coming out that we can think of?
Just to clarify on Bayonetta.
Toe Jam and L recently came out, didn't it? So,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, true.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, which I'm actually enjoying a lot again on Mega Drive Classics. I never
Okay.
really played as much growing up, but I'm really enjoying them now. So
Oh, cool.
You're going to pick up the new one. It's got good reviews.
yeah, and I'm very tempted actually. I love how 90s those games are. Just
Yeah.
the attitude, calling each other wieners, and it's just really charming.
It's like it's like a new Beavis and Butthead sort of game.
Yeah.
You just apparently it's full on 90s as well. The new one.
Awesome! Oh, really awesome.
I like it. Well, cool, guys. I think we're kind of up to date. I think we've spoken about what we want to speak about. Rich, you've said there's something that's middling around on Kickstarter at the moment that should, if anyone is interested in Sega? How do you pronounce it?
Sega.
Cigar?
Cigar.
Cigar?
Cigar.
However you pronounce it. These Japanese car manufacturers. So strange. So there's a Kickstarter out in the wild you're interested in?
Yeah, there's a book coming out called Dreamcast Year One. Basically, it's an unofficial look at the launch and the first year of the Dreamcast. It's by a guy on Twitter called Andrew Dickinson. Trying to raise £6,000 at the moment. He's actually almost halfway there. He's got 25 days to go. So, meant to be having interviews with Bernie Stolar,
Meant to live then.
meant to live.
25 days to go. I was like, bloody hell.
Is it right? Is it right?
It's always been his dream to publish a book about the Dreamcast first year.
Just year one though, Ben.
We can make that happen.
Yeah.
So go on,
He's
sorry,
only
Scott.
got time for year one.
Oh, that was a bit dark.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
so you said
The
he's got
Dreamcast had
introduced-
good 3 years. Leave it alone.
No. The guy.
Oh, it's-
Yeah, I did have a look at this myself, and it looks he's enlisted an artist to kind of do all the art, which
He's
is
enlisted an
Yes, they
artist.
do.
so it's it's like a real thing.
Cleaning it.
I feel like we're doing a better job of selling it though, Rich.
We're doing very well here. Like so.
What he needs to do is enlist a printer to do all the printing. That sort of thing.
He's only got 25 days, Mark.
Oh yeah, sorry, mate. Sorry.
Let's stop islanding this podcast and let's actually go back to Rich. So, Rich, what's captured your attention specifically about this guy? Has he released anything before, or is it first time for him?
I think it's the first time for him, but it's more the fact that it's got a real UK slant on it. It's the European launch, so I find that infinitely more interesting than just the North American release. It's all about like UK marketing. They've even got an interview with one of the guys from DC UK, the old unofficial Dreamcast magazine.
Yeah.
And that's like one of my favourite gaming magazines of all time. So that alone, I just find that I'm just really intrigued by it.
Can you define what a UK slant is? Just for anyone listening or watching, just out of curiosity.
It's a type of a horse, isn't it?
Yes. You're ruining this Kickstarter. Come on, I'm trying to raise awareness.
Sorry, carry on.
Pretty sure I had a couple of steroid creams for my UK slant. I don't know. I'm just got an image in my head of this guy from a UK slant. Fucking hell! The Dreamcast. Fuck me.
Oh, that was the nuts, mate.
It was
3K.
treats. Oh, that's brilliant.
So
So yeah, Rich, UK slant. Define yourself.
What I think now is just what's happened to Pokemon. Everyone thinks Pokemon's British now because of these two games coming out, the two new ones. Everything's gone British now. Everything's chavvy.
Very in vogue at the moment.
Yeah.
Seems to be very
So
popular.
I think like there was a certain period where games journalism from this country had a kind of tongue-in-cheek approach that you wouldn't get from like your official Nintendo magazine and things like that. Things like Mean Machines, Sega, all that stuff that was really UK centric, and I don't know. It just it didn't take itself as seriously as the like American game.
If you remember, I think it was PC Gamer. Like Charlie Brooker used to write for that.
Right.
And
Yeah,
you could see it then in his writing, and I remember his name before it was even meant anything to me. Looking at that magazine, and it speaks volumes. I mean, but the whole we'll say it again, UK slant.
Yeah, that's right. It's a nice way of thinking about it, and
There
not
you go.
taking the piss. But
I know.
Well, we're doing it right now.
Um,
This is exactly what we're doing. We
Yeah,
are the
quite
we are
literally
the evolution of that.
it is.
There you go.
I know, yeah.
Might be putting ourselves on too high a pedestal there, but that's essentially what we're doing, right?
Yeah, because you can't take it too seriously. I mean, obviously it's a very serious thing, but I think when you're downtrodden and melancholic, is that even the correct way of putting how we
It is.
kind of? Yeah,
is
I'll go with melancholic. Again, something else Mark's had pills for. But when you've got that kind of outlook, I think it does come across in the kind of journalistic approach that people take. But I do remember the tongue-in-cheek, even the TV shows that we had, the Games Master TV show, it's so tongue-in-cheek and so campy, and it was fantastic. But and Charlie Brooker's a great example of that type. That I don't know, what would you call it? Just that snapshot of just gaming history. But no, very fond. So he's got 25 days left on the Kickstarter, just to be clear.
Yeah.
He's halfway there. So what's the pull if you fund, or what's the, is there tiers to it, or is it?
Yeah. Scrolling up now, looking at this. So £1 gets you just the pledge, little donation.
Pound.
£1.
£1, I'll put a UK slant on it for you, love.
I'll put your fucking name on it, mate.
I saw the top tier is you can write.
Jackson game for £1.
No, you start, Rich. The
Hey, mate, if he gives a quid, I'll put your name on it, lad. Gives you, mate. Have you got a quid, lad?
the top tier is I think it's £99 and up,
Yeah.
and you can write an article, and then the artist that he's commissioned will do an avatar review, and you're featured in the book itself, which is pretty cool.
Will it be better than the Switch Island avatars?
Is that possible?
Careful, Rich. Careful.
Right.
Yeah. You're on the edge now, mate. You're on the edge.
Make one of you and then get rid of it.
We've done it before.
We've done it before.
Do it again.
I love how he's just a white space now. It's just...
We just don't like our names. Right.
I was going to do it. I was just going to put a cross.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Sorry, what were you saying, Rich?
I lost track now.
You was just slagging off our avatars.
Haven't we all?
Yeah. That's it.
Haven't we all?
They're great avatars. Like,
Great avatars. So what? So it goes up to absolute maximum of £99, and
Yeah.
you can get some sort of article in there as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Who's that other guy who's like super popular? Chris Scullion. He seems to do a lot of Nintendo stuff, doesn't he? On the book side of things. Have you got anything by him, Mark?
I don't think I do, no, mate.
Yeah.
I do like my Nintendo themed books. I'm collecting a few of them. I've got.
Have you got those bitmap books?
Got
like
one of them,
history-
mate. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
got
they're
this.
quite cool.
They're gorgeous. Yeah, have you got one?
No, but I'm all digital.
Yeah.
Ooh,
No, I do like my physical books.
that's the smell of leather, ain't it, Mark?
What's that, mate? I missed that.
Say.
Damn it! I didn't hear him.
Did you like the smell of leather? You like the smell of the pages?
Yeah, I do. I like to breathe it in, and the books. Yeah, love a scratch and a sniff. Can't remember what we're talking about. What are we talking about?
I don't know. I think we should probably wrap it up though.
I think we probably should.
Oh, hold on, hold on. I've got a cheeky little game for everyone.
Oh bloody hell!
Sonic or Schmonic?
Of course, I have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on.
No, the way we're going to do this. So we're going to do a Mario.
You always do it when we get to like an hour of recording. My poor computer sounds like it's about to blow up, and then you're like, "I've done a game."
My child has been crying for an hour.
My missus is in labour. Like it's even worse. Fucking heart comes up with, "I've got." It's going to be
You know this is coming
Smash
every
radio
time.
or stretch radio. So
I've got a version of Mario for this episode, which I should be calling Sonic, which is a bit awkward, or Schmonic.
Yeah.
This one, right? The way I want this to work is I'm gonna give you these facts. So there are 4 facts about Golden Axe. So this is Golden Axe or Golden Sax. I'm gonna give you the 4. Yeah, yeah.
that's
And
the song by the Klaxons.
one of them is completely fictional. So if you haven't heard this before with Mario, I read them out. The guys get to decide which of these facts is fictional. And I would like Dan and Ben to discuss it without Rich's involvement. And then I want Rich to guess separately at the end because he's our resident expert.
I'm laughing my head off because I've just seen Rich like adjust his seating position for the first time in an hour because he's getting serious now. He's like, "Fucking hell, I can't embarrass myself here."
I'll drop it into the Skype. This is number 1. Right.
Okay.
Golden Axe or Golden Sax. Number 1, the game was remade for the PS2. Number 2, one of the game's rideable steeds first appeared in Altered Beast. Number 3, the credits reveal the life stories of the characters, including some of the enemies. Number 4, for the arcade version, the ending shows an arcade where the characters jump out of the game, run out of the arcade, and down the street. And so I would like Dan and Ben to go first, decide on their answer, and then Rich to pick his answer.
Right. All right, Dan. So number 1, you're the PlayStation boy. Any
Thank you.
recollection of that?
The game was remade for the PS2. No.
Bugger. I feel like that's quite plausible though. That one.
Yeah, I believe that.
That sounds right. Number 2.
One of the game's rideable steeds first appeared in Altered Beast. It's Altered Beast by the same people?
Yeah, I think they're both first party Sega games. And there was a lot of beasts in Altered Beast. It's believable.
Believable. Come on, number 3. What are we thinking?
Credits reveal the life stories of the characters, including some of the enemies. I mean, that was pretty kind of common as well back in the day, wasn't it? Having at the end of like Street Fighter or something like that, it would have a few shots, and then Ken went off and did this, and blah blah blah. Yeah. So again, I mean, all of these. This is the problem with this game in itself. They all seem quite plausible.
Typically with Mark. For the arcade version, the ending shows an arcade where the characters jump out of the game, run out the arcade, and down the street.
I mean, that sounds the most ridiculous of all of them. But that's not to say it's the Mario.
No, I'll go with the...
I think we're just going to have to take a punt on this, to be honest.
I think it's either going to be... I think we can negate... Which ones we...
I don't think it's one.
I don't think it's one. Rideable Steeds. I think that'd be too far-fetched for him to make up. But he's, again, I always make the joke with him.
I can imagine him writing that and chuckling to himself. It's very...
Exactly what he's like.
And he would write Rideable Steed as well.
Look at him.
That's exactly how
bastard. He's just like, it was a game's Rideable Steed, but it wasn't from Altered Beast. It was from Faulted Feast. And he did it to us yesterday. It was a gobshite one. Yeah. It really was as well. It was a full-on gobshite one. 3, the credits reveal the life stories of right, I'm going to go... You know it was as well.
It wasn't a gobshite.
It was.
I try hard. Why? What was it?
I can't say. Guys, I want to listen to it.
Anyway.
Just go for number 3. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'll go 3. Do 3. Come on.
Rich?
Nice.
I'm pretty sure straight out the gate it's 4.
Whoa. I mean, 4 sounds...
Because I remember playing... Even on the Mega Drive, I remember at the end seeing the little blurbs at the end about the characters. And that jumped out at me straight away. 3 I remember. Pretty sure. If it is 3, then Christ, that's egg on my face. But
we actually throw an egg out your face at EGX, if that...
Please do.
Right, so that's locked in. So the boys, the non-Sega boys are picking 4, and Rich.
No, we'll pick 4.
Mate, you got one job.
Is everyone going for 4?
No, Mark. We went for 3.
We went for 3.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. I will start with number 1. The game was remade for the PS2. That one is a fact. It was in fact with upgraded graphics and sound. I had no idea about that. You've seen that, Rich? Have you?
I remember that. Yeah, didn't play it, but I remember when it came out.
Would you pick it up now? Have you got a PS2?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, cool. That was the shortest Switch pitch ever. It exists.
Thanks, Mark.
No worries, mate. Number 2. One of the game's rideable steeds first appeared in Altered Beast. That is, in fact, also true.
Okay.
They were called Bizarrians, apparently, and the one that appears in both is a cockatrice, which is like a weird legged cockerel thing. But you can ride it. Apparently, in Altered Beast, it's there, and then you can ride it in Golden Axe. Number 3, the credits reveal the life stories of the characters, including some of the enemies. Is the fiction?
Oh!
Yeah.
Why did I remember that?
No, you remember it because I've twisted the real answer. So the real answer is you can read the height and weight of the enemies.
Yes.
Only.
Dan, we brought him down.
Take that.
Who are the Sega experts now?
Smash mouth.
Yeah, and number 4, the arcade version does show an ending, and I looked it up on YouTube just to check, where they all run out of the game and run down the street when you complete it.
See what I mean?
Amazing.
I told you it'd be gobshitey, but Rich, mate, we got to throw an egg in your face at EGX.
Yes.
Bring some flour as well.
Rich has got a chance. Rich has got now a quick chance to bring it back, because I've got a second one for Golden Axe or Golden Sax.
Of course you have.
Yeah.
Fact number
Golden
one.
Golden Sacks.
Golden
Yeah,
Snatch.
Golden Sax. Yeah. Number one. The game was. I'll drop this one in. Sorry.
That's
Number
the Harry Potter porno, isn't it? The Golden Snatch.
You thought that was bad before I came up with one in my head. Switching a tent.
Jesus.
Thought it would have been quite good, but just me.
Pretty good.
It's fine.
The game was inspired by Conan the Barbarian. Number two, at the time, Capcom accused Sega of copying its game Final Fight. Number three, the game's project leader once said, quote, "If I could, I would vote for Gandalf as president," unquote. And fact number four, Sega considered 3-player co-op, but were limited by the processing power. Again, the same format.
So, number one, inspired by Conan the Barbarian.
Well, it's very Conan-y.
You know what? That's exactly the type of one that he would do. So I think we should just lock that one in now and just go with that because he's that much of a dick. honest to God, that
This
I
is
can
all
read
just
like a fucking leather book. Okay, number two, Ben, come on, talk it through.
At the time, Capcom accused Sega of copying its game Final Fight. I think Final Fight came out after this.
Okay. Ooh,
So that's
essentially.
yeah.
Three, the game's project leader once said, "If I could, I would vote for Gandalf as president." I don't doubt that. But again, he'd be like, actually, it was, if I could, I would vote for Aragorn as president. My name's
Yeah.
Mark.
I think that one's true.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
And then number four, mate.
Sega considered 3-player co-op, but were limited by the processing power. Yeah, that's believable. Although,
Yeah, it's stupid phrasing.
yeah, it's poorly written, isn't it?
I considered buying an Aston Martin, but
Yeah, I
sadly-
mean, the only thing maybe they considered 4-player co-op, and Mark's just changed that number.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
possible, but I think 2 and 4 are the most plausible.
Mhm.
I've just got a feeling Final Fight came out after this. I feel like Final Fight's a newer game, but yeah, I'm happy.
I don't know with one, but let's go with two then. If you want to go with two,
I hate making the final call on this, so yeah, if you want to go with 2.
You put it on down now.
We're doing it. We've done two.
Yeah. Okay, 2 is locked in. It's locked in.
Rich, which one?
We can't lose. We can only draw.
I'm torn between 2 and 3. I'm actually not sure, 100%.
The tension.
I think that Who Wants to Be Millionaire music.
Dan, Ben, where's your a cappella or whatever it's called thing that you did with Pete?
Oh yeah, I'll try and find that Spotify.
Oh, come on.
Maybe Dan, if we just gradually lean closer towards the camera as this is happening.
Just widen your eyes. Which is it going to be, Rich?
I'm going to go for 3.
You sure?
Yeah.
Locked in. All right. Okay. Do these in reverse order. Sega considered 3-player co-op, but were limited by the processing power. So the reason that's a thing, and it's not just ridiculous, is because there are 3 main characters, and people at the time were asking, apparently, according to an article, a lot of people were asking, why didn't you just make it 3-player co-op for the arcade? So all 3 of them could play. But nope, they couldn't, because the arcade, then they couldn't have had like any enemies on the screen at the same time.
Game.
Which would have been a great game, very easy, more like a Kirby game. Number 3, the game's project leader once said, "If I could, I would vote for Gandalf as president." He did actually say that, so that is true. The other inspiration for the game was Lord of the Rings, and the other inspiration was Conan the Barbarian. So that one is true.
Oh my god!
Meaning number
Get
2.
him, Ben.
And Ben, you nailed it straight out the gate, mate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well done,
fine.
mate.
It came out before. Golden Axe came out before Final Fight, so it's impossible that they would have been able to accuse them, and that's why I switched it around.
Amazing.
Nice one, guys.
Oh, wow.
That's what a performance that was.
Ah, sorry, Rich.
I actually feel
bad.
terrible though.
Yeah.
I feel awful as well.
So sorry. Rich.
Oh God.
We should start a Kickstarter for Rich's credibility. Try and get it back for him.
He's got 25 days of credibility left.
With your help. Mate, how does it feel, Rich? Are you smiling there?
Yeah, it feels great. Yeah.
You should feel fine. If
On the
anything,
Sega
mate,
podcast.
you made us prep this well, but
Yeah.
you know, it's awkward. But I don't know where we're going to go with it now, other than the fact that Mark's put the camera up to his face and looked like a floating head. Then it's fantastic to see that. Yeah.
Just, I feel a bit bad for Rich, but then he has been getting a lot of the Nintendo ones right. So maybe secretly, deep in his heart, he is more of a Nintendo fan after all.
Ah.
Because he's got more.
The moral of the story.
Yeah, that's the moral of the story.
Yep.
Or he just doesn't like Golden Axe.
Golden Axe was like the first game I ever completed, so I should have really fun memories of that game. I should know that game.
Breaking my heart, Rich.
Tested like Pete with Star Fox, he didn't get that right. Like there's a difference between loving a game and being like knowing about it. So
You can love it too much that the logic goes out the window.
yeah, no, it's more dangerous as well because the closer you are to knowing the game, the easier it is for me to trick you.
I'm trying to rationalise it. It's okay.
Yeah, that's
I
okay.
blew it. It's fine.
Great.
Okay, all right.
Well, I think that was enjoyable. Thank you for sorting that, Mark.
Sorry, guys.
Thank
I
you.
feel bad.
No, it's fine. It's okay.
No,
It's absolutely
I
fine.
hope you've enjoyed it.
Right, well, we're rocking up to 1 hour and 17 minutes, so I shall wrap us up unless there's anything else anybody would like to finish on. That's all. I think we should just
thank Rich for being our special guest for this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll do that in a
Thank you
minute,
for
mate.
having me on.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Fucking hell. I'll tell you what, I think we can all agree, let's give Sega a round of applause, guys, because they're the winners here.
They are.
And I
Not
just
the
read today.
console business or not, but hey.
No.
No. But did you read today about them potentially collaborating with Google?
Yeah. I'm glad that controller's fake, by the way, 'cause that was terrible.
Was it fake? Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, phew.
It's
Okay,
from like
yeah.
2014 or something. It was some like mock-up. And it got,
God.
yeah, it was awful.
That was dreadful. Dreadful. So what, the collabing with Google?
There's rumours.
Yeah, so Sonic only on Google now.
Difficult first album. That'll be fun. Okay, well, guys, I've been at Danny Ward 2707. Ben, you have been
At Benji Kong.
at Benji Kong with that fantastic webcam. Beautiful, mate. Absolutely beautiful. Can see every hair on that face of yours. Speaking of hairy faces, Mark, where can we find you this week?
At Smart Tweeter.
Of course you can, if you want to. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. And obviously, thank you big time. This is where we say thank you, Mark. Just I know it's a learning curve for you, mate, but this is where we say thank you to Rich, sincerely, mate. And Pete and I have always been super grateful for the fact that you were there from the off, goading us along and being chirpy all the way. Yeah, no.
I'm grateful.
That's why I wanted to humiliate him like this.
Whatever. Just another listener, doesn't matter.
I know it's even terrible now. But yeah, sincerely, jokes aside, I know we've wound you up tonight, but thank you very much for being with us. And you are the first Islander, which is always a nice thing to say.
And he's going to be on the desert island soon, I think. Is that right,
Well,
Ben?
you don't fuck it up.
Or he was on Desert Island.
I was
Yeah.
going to bring Golden Axe with me, but that's fine.
Yeah, have a rethink.
I just chucked in the sea now.
Hunting Mark down next. But thank you very much for being on, mate. Appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Damn right. Right, we'll be in the Switch Island. If you like us, you can go over to the YouTube, which is youtube.com/some letter and then /Switch Island. I can't remember, but if you put in Switch Island Nintendo in the search bar, you will more than likely find us. Alternatively, go to our Twitter, which is @Switch_Island. You will almost certainly be able to find all of our links there. You'll be able to see Benji's bald head on there as well. Follow him. He does a series called Attack the Backlog. Is that correct? And what you're attacking at the moment, mate?
I'm currently attacking Bastion, which is a phenomenal game, and you should all go and buy it.
Gorgeous
Instantly.
looking game. Yeah.
So good. So good.
Stunning looking game. And Mark, what do you do at the moment? Are you doing anything?
I've just been attacking logs outside.
Yeah, of course you have. Fucking
I
hell.
just, yeah, I've just I like.
Is that Dan pooing in your bushes as well?
It's Bobby.
I'm always inspired by everything Ben does, like rapping and attacking logs. So I've been attacking trees all over the place.
Of course you have, mate. Of course you have. And obviously, if you want to find us, you can go over to the website, which is Mark.
www.switchisland.co.uk.
Wonderful. And what was the last review we popped up on there?
We've got thoughts on Observer, and we've got Desert Island Cartridges episode 7 currently, but we've got a new one coming out soon, I believe. Ben, is that right?
What, a new review or a new Desert Island?
Desert Island.
We do. Yes.
Yes, we do.
Well, I don't know when this is coming out.
Oh, that's true. It's likely to be after that, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway,
There's always going to be.
Yeah, there will be new ones coming out. We haven't cancelled it, despite the rumours you've heard. We haven't.
What a way to break it to me!
Ah, live on
Cruel.
air.
Cruel.
Sorry, Ben. The time has
Terrible.
come, my
Well
friend.
done, Mark.
Yeah.
And
Going to come
is
back
there-
and tribe you.
what about the P word?
Well, this is it. I was going to say, Dan, Patreon. By the time this is out, that will be live. Talk about it.
Talk about it. So we've got 4 different tiers: World 1, World 2, World 3, World 4. Essentially, what you get from World 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's just a scaling amount of content, which we're going to make exclusive. However, kind of following in other internet personalities' footsteps, like Kind of Funny and a lot of the IGN stuff, it's not going to be behind too much of a paywall, so all the content's still going to be available to everyone. Albeit maybe a little bit later, or albeit just in maybe podcast form, and we'll keep the video stuff over on Patreon for people. But you know, Ben and I on one of the tiers can produce a song for you on your birthday. Alternatively, if you really wanted to go for the ultimate tier, like we'll do a Desert Island cartridge with you. So we are pimping out the island for your favorite game to try and get on there. That can be private or public, whatever you want it to be. We're looking at modding controllers for you. We're looking at
That's a big one. That's a huge one.
That is a big one.
Getting a
I actually did
custom Switch Island Pro controller.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got the gear. I went out to B&Q today. I bought all the paint. I'm going to try my first one because we've still got the offcuts from the previous Switch Pro controller. But we will buy you the controller, then mod it, then send it over to you. With
God knows what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit worried about what design Dan's going to put on that. So
you have to wait for that because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it'll be fine, and hopefully the paint won't come off in your hands. So, but yeah, we've got loads of custom tiers. We're actually working with an artist at the moment to do a couple of other exciting things, but we won't tell you about that yet.
And am I right in thinking, is the artist doing the art? Is that
He
right?
actually is doing the art. He's not
Okay,
cleaning
yeah.
the kitchen this time. But yeah, we're super stoked about it. It was super fun, and it's something we kind of been toying around for a while. Dr. Fact kind of put in to the Patreon without even us knowing the other day, and went in and started chipping away in there. So thank you very much, dude. How the hell you found us? I'm not too sure. He said he did a bit of Cluedo work from seeing it in the in our Discord, plugged to the Discord sticky, and then finding it through there, and then finding us on Patreon and donating us to us. So we all had a little bit of a freak out yesterday, and we're high-fiving going, oh shit, we've actually got to go and do this now. So super cool. It launches Monday the 11th of March. So if you listen to this post that, then you know it's on there, patreon.com/Switch Island, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty straightforward, but we're super happy about it. Hopefully, you know, we get a couple of people in there. It'll help us out, and we can start doing some more lucrative giveaways as well. So
the main idea, as well as like giving back to everyone, the main idea for us is to be able to have the resources to create more and better content for you guys as the listeners and viewers as well. So it's all a big circle of love for Nintendo and talking to each other about it. So yeah,
absolutely. So if you like that, so www.switchisland.co.uk, you can find all the links through there. Rich, thank you so much again for listening through this garbage. Ben, Mark, it is always a pleasure, gents.
Cheers, mate.
yeah,
Right.
you too, man.
Have a good evening.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Sega.